Have you ever been in a situation where you're driving and your check engine light comes on? Or maybe you're on flat land and your car starts to sink to one side? Hi, my name is Michael Clater, and I'm here to educate you on the steps to change a tire. This will not only help you save money, it may help you save some time. Today, I will be covering what is required to change a tire. I also talk about the importance of finding your equipment that is required to change a tire. And I'll be giving you some helpful hints to make this process a little bit easier. The process of changing a tire can be very stressful if you're not prepared. A flat tire can happen to any motor vehicle driver. Therefore, it's very important to be informed about a few things if an emergency happens like this. A flat tire can strike at any moment, and it can happen for many different reasons. Sharp objects on the road, such as glass or nails, your stem valve on your tire can have a leak, your tire bed could have a leak, sometimes vandalism, or your tires can be bowed, which it can get holes and it will also start to leak. There's things you should know about your vehicle that will help you if you get a flat, as in knowing when your equipment is, and that can save you a lot of time and anxiety if a flat tire was to happen. A lot of times, if you have a used vehicle, you might not know exactly where the spare tire is, or even if you have a spare tire in your vehicle. So a lot of times you would want to look in your manual, and your manual will help you find it. With a lot of SUVs, it's underneath your trunk, and there's different ways for different models for you to lower that to the ground. There's some things that your vehicle does not come with that may help you when it comes to if you get a flat tire, such as a flashlight and some extra batteries just in case it's dark, some gloves because changing a tire can be a messy thing, a tarp or a mat, something to that you can kneel on or lay down on. Uh, you never know, you might have on your night's clothes or things like that. A plastic or a poncho just in case it's raining outside. Some fix a flat, it can also be helpful. A tire gauge and something to block your tires, maybe a brick or a thick block of wood. Now that we know some of the things that can lead to a flat tire and some of the equipment that your vehicle does not come with, you're better prepared than the average motorist. Now, having this equipment and knowing the steps and the limitations of your spare is also key. Let me walk through a few steps that can help you save some time and money. Now, before learning the necessary steps to change a tire, there's a few safety tips that are very important before you do anything. Once you receive your flat, the first thing you want to do is find a safe spot to pull over. You want to turn on your hazard lights, and you'll want to get your brick or something that you can use to put across the adjacent tire to stop the vehicle from rocking back and forth. Now, the first steps after you're as safe as possible for changing a tire, you want to get all your equipment. Some equipment you might need is your owner's manual, inflated spare tire. You will need your jack. You will need your lug wrench, and you'll need that small piece of wood or brick to put on the adjacent tire. Okay, now your first steps for taking off the tire. The first thing while the vehicle is still on the ground, before you jack it up, is you want to loosen the lug wrenches. And you want to loosen it before you jack it up because a lot of times they'll be really tight and you don't want it in the air while you're trying to wrestle it loose. So after you loosen them up, you don't take them completely off, you just loosen them up. You want to look in your owner's manual and it will show you exactly where to jack it up. A lot of times there's a piece of fabric underneath your frame and it will show you exactly where to jack your car up. Once you have your car jacked up and your tires completely off the ground, you want to remove the lug nuts, take your spare off. You'll place your, or not your spare off, you'll place your tire off, you'll place your spare on, you'll put the lug nuts on. Now this is very important. You don't put them on top. You don't go in a circular motion. You'll do kind of like a star. You'll start with the top, then you'll go across, then you go across, then you go up. Most of the time, there's 5 lug nuts, and you want to do it in a star motion. And while you're tightening it, you want to try to wiggle the wheel, because a lot of times you'll think you'll have all of them tight by hand, and you'll wiggle it around, and there'll be a lot of play. So you want to tighten them up as tight as possible in that star motion, and you'll wiggle it around and tighten them up as tight as you can. Then you'll lower the car back to the ground. Then that's when you'll get um, your your wrench, and then you'll tighten up there. Now, another very important thing after you got your spare tire on is to know the specs. A lot of times, your spare tire will have a yellow sticker on it, and it will tell you the specs of your spare tire. Now, the general rule of thumb is not to exceed 50 to 70 miles, and you do not exceed 65 miles per hour. Now, the reasons why you will want to do it yourself is a lot of time it can be cost effective and it can save you some time. The average wait time is 20 to a few hours depending on traffic, weather conditions. And the average start out pay is $60 for a company to come out and change it themselves. So now that we know what leads to a flat tire, where your equipment is to change your tire, the necessary steps that are required, and a few helpful hints that can help you just in case this emergency happens. I would like to thank you and enjoy your day.